Man, I have gained weight, but it is what it is. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Oh, I forgot. Damn. Okay, the family went to the movies. My bad. So hey, what's going on, y'all? The purpose of this video is, I guess, everyone's talking about Stranger Things and stuff. And to be honest, I don't even know where I'm gonna go with it. As far as like, I do not have a plan. Um, I guess I'll just recap or review. Man, that Harold Astro. Oh wow. Of Stranger Things season 5. The first go around when I watched it, I'm not gonna lie, I think the first 4 seasons, to me it seemed like it was like all over the place, like it didn't really make any sense personally. But when I watched it again, when I watched everything, through and through, I think it was great work. The breakout character to me that stood out the most, as far as main character, a lot of people was talking about Gaten. I think Gaten is oh my God, Dustin. Dustin, he's kind of going through the same thing that Max went through in season 4, with the death of Bill, I think it's Billy, her brother. And he's going through with oh my God, what's his name? Is it Steve? Oh no, it's not Steve. Oh my God. I loved his character too. The guy that with the guitar and everything, the curly hair. I forgot his freaking name, but I'll probably remember it in his video. But I'll just say that like he's kind of going through the same thing with that. Um, I definitely think he kind of played that well. He's at a point where he just doesn't really care. He's just letting everything just go. Um, I would say what's his name? I'm sorry, I'm literally just doing this on the top of my head. When it comes to Will, I think Will throughout all the seasons, right? He was a mama's boy. And this is kind of the first time where he's kind of like breaking away from like his mom, where he's like, okay, I can do this on my own. I really don't need, like, I love you, but I don't really need you to always be on my ass about certain things. Like, I think I can do this on my own. I think Robin kind of helped him, throughout the show too, throughout this season. Um, Surprisingly, like Mike definitely showed up a lot like later in the season, but I don't really recall him like being like a big, like a person that stood out to me. It wasn't until, like I said, the last episode when they were trying to get the kids out and help them and stuff, where I'm just like, okay, he really stood out as a like as an actor and stuff, um, or his character stood out, whatnot. And then the same thing with Lucas. I think he was more, to be honest, a little bit more in the background as far as like, again, it wasn't really until like the last episode where I was like, man, like, they're starting to like, step up or whatnot. Um, my favorite character was Dustin. I think Dustin definitely carried, like, as far as the supporting cast, like that dude carried it. Like he was like, I liked him a lot. He was funny. He kind of reminds you like them old school bully type kids, like young kids. Like he was good through and through. Um, what's her name? Erica. Like I think she was a great supporting cast. Like she held her own and she did her thing too. Um, Again, I just think like this video. It's just like my initial review of season 5, and it just makes me wonder how they're going to be able to close it out in in 4 more episodes. I believe there's going to be 4 episodes and then maybe one finale. I'm not sure, but I still think there's a lot that's missing from the storyline. And I know there was a play that talked about the background of Henry, but I just don't know if all that it will be able to be captured and come together in 3 or 4 episodes. And it just makes you wonder like how that's going to be. Um, like how was Dimension X? Like how was it formed? Um, how did the Mind Flayer, make Henry slash Vecna, who he is. Um, it's just pretty interesting to see like how they're gonna be able to put all this together. Because I don't know, I just still think it's just a lot missing. I think they probably needed one more season, but but the kids are older now. They're grown adults now. You know, that takes time, and they're probably tired of working on this. They're probably ready to move on to new horizons. But it just makes you wonder like how they're going to be able to capture all this in the next 4 episodes. And I just think that the first half of season 5 it wasn't really there. I think season 5 was more just it was more just like kind of in a way it was like starting over. Because like season 4 it seemed like all hell broke loose at the end. Like now they know about the two worlds and whatnot. The military came in, but season 5 at the beginning it just seemed like everyone, like it just went back to normal. Like everyone was still living their life while all this stuff was going on. But again, like if that really happened in real life, that's a possibility with Hawkins being a small town. People, they probably didn't take it serious. Like, hey, we're just gonna put the military there and take care of it. Like everyone, we're just gonna still keep living life the way it is. Another thing I think that kind of stood out to me too was that as far as like the acting when it came to like the parents almost losing their life, the Wheelers, I wish there was like a little bit more like a little bit more like grief, like more like, oh man, like what just happened, type of situation. And then the same thing I would say for Holly, when her mom supposedly, is, her parents are dead or whatnot. But I will say though that, because I mean she saw it, like she saw the Demogorgon do what they did to the mom or whatnot. But it's a possibility that Henry just told her and sold her a dream and was like, hey, everything's okay. Like your parents are fine, blah, 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 blah. They're going to be good and they're going to be here soon. And I think that's what he actually said, when he was talking to Holly about it. So, and again, like Holly was, second, third grade. So maybe she wouldn't be able to understand that type of stuff, as well too. But overall, the first half of season 5 of the show, it's good. But again, I just think that I just hope that the second half is not rushed. I just hope the second half is not, they're just throwing a whole bunch of stuff just to see if it flows. And then, hey, this is the end. This is what happens. But, we will see. But I'm actually going through season 2 right now just to kind of go over that again. I'm almost done with, I think I'm like halfway through. I'm at episode 5, season 2. So, just being on like the TikTok, there's a lot of like theories as far as like people, like what they expect to happen and all these type of things. But again, I just hope that it's not rushed. I just hope that everything flows the way it flows. The next 4 episodes. I think it's 4 episodes. So, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they said the last episode might be like a movie. So it might be like a 3-hour or 2-hour. So maybe they might be able to capture all this stuff then. But again, I just hope that everything flows. But Stranger Things is probably one of the greatest TV shows or I guess TV series or Netflix, media series I've seen. And I love that it's like, based in the 80s, because like I was born in the 80s, and it just gives me like nostalgia to kind of like see like the stuff that like my brother and sister kind of grew up in. Because like my family, we're from the Chicagoland area, but like Illinois and Chicago are basically like sisters. So to be able to see that and be able to like like, wow, this is like pretty accurate. It's pretty cool. So, but that's my video. Yeah, see you guys again later.